There is dust upon the trail, the sun is burning bright. The town awakens as the day gives way to night. Where tumbleweeds are rolling, ancient tales still grow, and everyone is talking about the Smokin' Ace Show. He rides upon that pale horse through the frontier road, with aces in his deck and a story to be told. From toy reviews to legends that we all have known. So gather round the campfire for the Smokin' Ace Show.
Dead or alive.
You hear the spurs a jingling, the saloon door begins
Ace's army
to
is
swing.
everywhere.
The whole town feels a thrill, you know. He has finally come
Hello,
back
sir.
home. Welcome to the Smokin' Ace Show, where the good times always roll.
It's smoking on the Smokin'
Toy
Ace Show.
reviews and done by
What is happening, everybody? That one viewer and the millions more that are going to be tuning into this amazing Monday afternoon video. Live. It's live, baby. We're live. We're broadcasting across the entire world. The globe is witnessing this greatness. Are you here? Of course you are. Where else are you going to be? Please settle in. I'm not going to settle down, but you're going to settle in. You're going to get nice and comfortable. You're going to leave a comment in the comment. You're going to like. You're going to subscribe. You're going to support Ace's Place 22. And why are you going to do that? Because it's the greatest thing since bread and butter. And everybody loves bread and butter. Whether it's toasted, whether it's, I don't know, it's just bread and butter. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's Monday Live, where I will be talking about this past weekend's Disney event, which is called the D23, and getting messages and getting rid of them. But where I'm going to be talking about the things that happened within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, certain trailers that came out, little sneak peeks, and casting revealed. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're not quite sure what is going on here, what the Smokin' Ace Show is all about, the Smokin' Ace Show is simply as it's titled, Smokin' Aces. It's quick draw, quick fast, quick comments, quick conversations. It's smoking, baby. We're just going to keep rolling with it. We're going to stay on topic with one or two themes, and we're just going to ride it out till the very end. It's not, say this, it's not supposed to be a long formatted video or a live, not hours and hours like the usuals. So this is going to be very, very narrow margin. We're talking strictly about the MCU in the D23 reveals. That being said, let's go over to the comments. Well, I saw there was a handful of comments over there, but it's only myself and my friend Joe Prime 1986. What a hell of a guy he is right there. Do I want to talk about him? No, I talk about him too much here on the channel. Too many of my friends I talk about. But this time, we're just going to jump right into it. We are going to talk about D23. And I do have, let me find it. Now, Joe, I'm going to throw this out there at you because I think you'll understand. I am not going to throw the link out there in this live stream. This is going to be a solo journey, a solo conversation. I'm very transparent and I'm very based on what I say. Oftentimes, the conversations get hijacked or they do not stay on track with what the host is trying to do. So for this specific one, I am going to be just hosting this, presenting this, doing a live on my own. And maybe that's what the Smokin' Aces Show is going to be all about. Maybe that's what the Smokin' Aces Show is specifically about, is where it's my thoughts, my time, and just me. Let's think about that. So if you want to listen, you want to engage in the conversation, you're absolutely more than welcome to. But for this next hour, we are going to roll out Autobots, solo style, Han. I made a couple of weird references there, but I'll get right back to the chats in a minute. But let us talk about what happened over the weekend. I don't think this is going to change the format. I think it's just going to cover me up. Yeah, that's totally fine. This is going to cover me up. So I took these screenshots off of the channel Everything Always. I believe that's the name of the channel. Everything Always. His little pictures down there in the bottom. I'm giving total credit to that channel, to that YouTube channel. I watched all the presentations, but to get good images, I couldn't find anything on Google, so I just screenshotted everything. So all credit goes to Everything Always. Check out that channel, give him some love and all that. I've been following that channel for a very, 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 very long time. So all the props over there. So D23 is basically it's a big Comic-Con essentially, but it's Disney oriented only. It's not your San Diego Comic-Con where you've got all these toy companies and different movie companies. This is solely Disney. Hence why you can see little Merlin style Magic Mickey right there, which, come on, I want that little guy as an action figure. If anybody's got this Mickey Mouse as an action figure, let's toss around some dollars and make a deal. But yeah, you can see Mickey Mouse right there. They have the presenters coming out and doing, oh, welcome to D23. We're going to blah, 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 blah. So there's that nonsense. What we want to talk about is this. The Marvel Studios portion of this, right? Okay, so a couple weeks ago, last month, was San Diego Comic-Con, where Marvel revealed a whole bunch of big stuff, and we got to see the first trailer. Well, I say we, but they revealed the first trailer for Doomsday, and what the hell else was there? Ghost Rider with Ryan Gosling was announced as Ghost Rider. We had the new announcement for Black Panther 3 alongside of the new cast for T'Challa, or well, I guess it'll be like T'Challa Jr. or whatever the hell his son's name's going to be. So we got a bunch of reveals for the Marvel Cinematic Universe a handful of weeks ago, a month ago, what have you, at San Diego Comic-Con with a huge assortment of action figures. I can't skip over that. If you want to check all of that kind of conversation out, go look maybe 2 weeks ago for my Smokin Aces MCU Monday show. I think that's when it was. Maybe that's when we talked about the Spider-Man stuff. I know there was a Spider-Man one and an MC. I think I've done MCU stuff for all of these Smokin Aces show at this point. But hey, we got to roll with what's hot, right? So all these really awesome action figures, from the reveal of Doctor Doom, some X-Men characters, Legos even were revealed at some point where there were Sentinels, and again, Doom, all the X-Men guys and some Avengers, Yelena, just a wide variety and assortment of absolutely awesome stuff. The type of stuff to get you hyped, to get you absolutely excited for what's coming down the path. Now, the MCU, as of late, has not been the best with a narrative thread on keeping you, I don't want to say keeping you interested, but once they hit Infinity War and Endgame, the MCU kind of felt like it was a free-for-all of you pick what you want to like and you kind of stand ground and you make that your camp. Whereas before, everything, I can't remember one person saying, oh, this is so much better than that, or this is terrible. The conversation at the time was everything is epic, everything is awesome, and maybe there's one or two stinkers. Since then, there have been a ton of stinkers unanimously. It's not just, oh, ACES, sitting up on a hill. No, there have been a lot of conversation about, from other people, about a lot of stinkers in the MCU. Now, in the last few years, they've kind of found their footing. I wouldn't say they're on a running sprint, but they're definitely walking at a faster pace. And with all these announcements and reveals, it gets you to that spot where you want to say, run, Forrest, run. I don't want to jump the gun by any means, but it's very hard not to get excited to the point of, are we back? Are we back in full form with the MCU, or are we just simply in a nostalgia trip at the moment? And what I mean by that is, of course, if you've seen the Doomsday trailer and all that, you see Ian McKellen, you see Patrick Stewart, you've got James Marsden, and all of our other favorites in there. But all those nostalgic names, which we've talked before about here on the channel, of what we think the outcome of these characters are going to be going forward. And we can emphasize a little bit more of that here today, I think, based on what we are going to specifically talk about with the new X-Men reveal of the movie and the cast so far of the X-Men movie. what tells us possibly, I don't want to, go too crazy, but it possibly could tell us what will be the fate of our already established Fox universe. So that being said, we're definitely going to talk all about that. But not only was there the reveal of the X-Men movie and an announcement of that, and other stuff within that X-Men universe, which we will go in 100% detail on. We had a couple of actors from the MCU. They're all from the MCU, you idiot. A couple of actors from Doomsday itself, the movie Doomsday itself. Let me throw this up on the screen. Did you see me? So they had a couple of actors from the Doomsday movie come out and do a presentation, just 3 of them, and I'll talk about who it is in a little bit, and show the trailer once again. Now, added to that, there was a video call and another actor, let's just say his name, Hugh Jackman, that made a massive announcement. So we're going to talk about the X-Men, we're going to talk about the Avengers specifically, and then on top of all of this, there is a D23 specific little teaser snippet, I'm not really sure, of Doctor Doom. I will be the first to tell you I am not looking at it. I'm not watching it. I have not watched it. I don't want to even know about it, to be honest with you. I am someone that if the first trailer I see is the only trailer I need. So I am going into this movie on the base of what I've seen already presented, and anything else, whether it's still images or toys or whatever merch, I'll glance at it. But if it's video, I'm staying away from it, because I have seen AI video that just blew my mind to think if this could be in the movie, I just spoiled a whole bunch of shit for myself. So I am avoiding all of it. But if you've seen it, just tell me in the comments. Do you love it? Did it get you more excited? Are you where do you stand with it? But no spoilers, please. Specifically, I know it's not spoilers since it's already out there, but for me, it is a spoiler. And then the last thing, but the first thing we're going to start off with is, I don't have an actual image of it, but we will throw this up on the screen, and we have got the Vision. Well, it's not just called the Vision. But Quentin, what is happening? I'm sorry, guys, I didn't even see the comment. Quentin, I'm going to throw them all you guys up on the screen so you can see it. Quentin, thank you very much for popping in here and saying hello. Joe Prime, my buddy boy, what's happening? Thank you very much. Hope you're having a really great day. But it's not called The Vision. This was just the screenshot I took. It's called Vision Quest, which is a really cool title to it, because it's all about Paul Bettany's character, the Vision, that we originally saw manifest into an actual, form way back in 2015, almost 11 years ago, in Avengers Age of Ultron. That's going to come full circle here in a second. But way back in 2000, again, like I said, I think it was 15, Age of Ultron, we saw the Vision go from the, what do you want to call it? There, sentient being, there was no body. It was just a voice, a robotic voice, essentially, AI voice of Jarvis, Tony Stark's little, I guess you call him sidekick from the start. And his consciousness was put into the body that Ultron was ultimately creating for himself, but Vision was put inside of him. And of course, we all know Vision is one of the most I don't want to say overpowered in a negative way, but super powered characters in the Marvel Universe. So when they introduced him, it was only a matter of time before they had to slowly rewrite him back out, because he is really one of the most ultimate characters in the entire MCU, if we want to go based on comic books, that is. And they did show a bit of how strong he is within that Avengers movie, of him picking up Thor's hammer and, snap my finger, no pun intended to Thanos, but literally eradicating Ultron without question. So he really is truly a remarkable character. So we've seen Ultron, or not Ultron, I apologize. We've seen Vision, and I know I have a picture of him. Here he is, right here. Now, we've seen Vision from Age of Ultron, where he comes into basically his classic style comic book look, where he's that greenish, purplish, yellowish kind of coloring. Absolutely remarkable look. Just super cool. So we saw Ultron, or how do I keep saying Ultron? We saw Vision in Age of Ultron, and then we saw Vision again in Civil War, and then we saw him for the very last time in Infinity War, where our boy got murdered or killed 2 separate times, one by Wanda and one by Thanos himself. And that, at the time, you know, was what we thought was the end of him. Then we get into the Disney Plus shows, the very first Disney Plus show, which was WandaVision, which was all about Wanda living in this warped perspective reality that she had created based on losing vision and losing her mind, essentially, to, I don't want to say losing her mind, we didn't get there yet, but losing her state of conscious, essentially, and taking over this small little town and brainwashing them and doing the same thing to Vision's body, so to speak, while his body was being tested on by the government, and she just goes ballistic. He regains consciousness of his normal body, and then we are, you know, given this white Vision that is and that's the last time we see Vision, is this white Vision here, where he flies off into the sky. We never see him again, not knowing what's to come. Here we are many, 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 many years later, and we are getting our conclusion to Vision. And it's very cool. This show looks different but exciting. Again, just like with the movies for the MCU, the shows are very hit or miss. They're not the greatest. I mean, there's a handful of them that you could say are really, really great, and then there's definitely a pocket of them that you could just say, why on earth is this a thing? I often am wondering why Disney Plus continues to make the shows, because they don't even often have continuity into the movies anymore. But with Vision being one of the original Avengers, essentially, in the second movie, maybe there's weight to it. Maybe he will have a more character arc in the upcoming Doomsday. I personally don't know. He is important in the comics, so that is up to other people to, you know, kind of decipher until this comes out. I think it's October 16th or something along those lines. But you do get, now, how do I want to say it? Because the show seems very different. Like I said, you're following Vision, trying to find who he once was. So it's as it says, a Vision quest. And I can't really tell you the story of it, because I genuinely don't know if there is an actual narrative thread that they're pulling from. I've read some Vision comics, but they're more modern, so maybe they're a little bit thrown in there. I do not know, but I'm excited for this. I do want to see it. The white Vision look is the first ever iteration I've ever seen of him from the, what is it? I have this the magnet here. Captain America and the Avengers, way back on like the Sega, where the Vision was completely white. I dig it. It is a thing for me that I personally like. So I'll watch it either way. But a big return that I know a lot of the MCU fans are excited about is Spader. James Spader returning as Ultron. And not only is he returning as Ultron, but they have him in a like an avatar form. I think that's what Vision even calls him. Where he looks like a human, like everybody else, to save on the CGI, of course. But they do show Ultron in the video or in the trailer real quick. But he transforms into a human, and he considers himself like, how do I don't like it. I do not like it. I do not like Ultron. I didn't like Ultron in the movie. I wanted Ultron to be this super evil robot that destroyed all the squishies. But he was comedic, he was comical, and I know, yes, in some of the comic books and even in the Avengers cartoon, he's but he's not like in the MCU. They have to make him super silly and likable. They can never just make a villain to where you're just like, fuck, screw that guy. They did it one time and that was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with the High Evolutionary. I'm cracking open my drinks. With the High Evolutionary, and that guy was just absolutely terrible. He was a horrible, horrible person. He was a super terrific villain. There was no redeeming qualities to him, and you absolutely hated him. And it made the means justify the end, and I loved it. Loved it. Thought it was great. It's an impactful movie. Ultron could have been the same way, but they made him a joke, in my opinion. And then in this new trailer, when they reintroduce him, he comes across like whatever Ben Kingsley character's name was in Shang-Chi, and then originally in Iron Man 3 when they show him. I forget what his name is, but he's like the movie actor guy. Hello, I'm aloof, I'm a little bit of a goofball. And I feel like they do that with the James Spader Ultron character. He's like, Dad, Papa, or whatever he says, and it's like, I don't need a dad-son buddy duo. I mean, unless by the end of it, you know, Ultron turns into a villain again and something like that. Sure, maybe, possibly, but I feel like this is just fan service, and it doesn't do anything for me specifically. I will check it out regardless. I'm going to absolutely watch the show if I can stream it some way, somehow. This more than, you know, most of the other MCU shows I'm interested in. But for the most part, what else do I got? Do I got any other pictures of this? What do we got here? We got... No, that's not it. I think I only got those 3. Yep, that's it. That's it. So other than that, yeah, the Vision Quest. I don't know if Wanda's going to play a part in this. There could have been stuff that I quickly missed, but the trailer was fun. I was engaged with it. I liked it, so I will definitely, like I said, I will watch it. But what do you guys think that are checking this out right now and watching the live? Do you guys think that's what the hell do y'all think? But other than that, let's move on to the next topic, shall we? Like I said, the next topic is, well, like I said, I didn't watch the Doomsday trailer, whatever was just released yesterday at D23. Did not watch that at all. Let's come up here. Okay. I did not check it out at all, but I'm sure it's really awesome. I don't want to see anything about it. I'll wait till the movie to see whatever, you know, is revealed. And then by the time the movie's out, which I often do, I am very much one of those people that I go back and I rewatch the trailers. I have rewatched the Avengers Infinity War trailer more times since I've seen the movie than before I saw the movie, right? Like, it's crazy. I absolutely love that trailer. I think it's terrific. In time, you will know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, but to fail all the same. Run from it, dread it. Destiny arrives. Something like that. I think. I'm trying to remember now exactly. But, so I'll go back and I'll rewatch whatever this little Doctor Doom thing is, of course. But I want to be shocked and surprised by so many things. It's crazy. What was the last thing that just came out? What the hell was the last thing I just went and saw in theaters? Spider-Man. All right, so when I went and saw Spider-Man, I only saw the one trailer, the very first trailer that came out, and that was it. When I went and saw the movie, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. This is cool, man. And then I've gone back and rewatched the trailers 3 and 4 where they're showing the Hulk fighting him. And I'm like, what? Dude, why would you show all that stuff in the trailers? You guys are hired the giraffe's ass. That's crazy. So I don't want to see nothing, right? Like seeing Shang-Chi fighting Gambit in the first trailer for Doomsday. Why would I want to see anything more than that? You just show me that, and now my mind is already racing. You've got Sentinels that look like they're in the background. Woo! Give me that shit. I'm going to wait on it, though. I can't wait. I'm very excited, though. I'm very excited. And don't get it twisted. We only got a few more months. and then doomsday is upon us. We got Joe. If that Vision show is half as good as WandaVision, it'll rock. Hey, amen, Joe. Amen. Now, no one can see it. You know what? Hold on a minute. Rob, what's happening? Rip it up, brother. So, I'm a big fan of WandaVision. I think Elizabeth Olsen is the most beautiful woman in the entire world. And I'm not ashamed to say this. My ex-girlfriend and I, we did this project together. And she reminds me so much of Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda. She really does, and I love her. I miss her. Whatever, I just said it live. Oh well. So, we put this together years ago, and we glued it. This is, I don't even know, 1,000-piece WandaVision puzzle from back when WandaVision came out. Don't let Jennifer hear you. Oh, Jennifer, no! She actually might come running home now. But we put this puzzle together. We glued it. I've kept it for, these last 3.5 years or 3 years. But, yeah. WandaVision is so damn... Can I put this up in the background? Probably not. Not where you guys can see it. But, yeah, there we go. We'll just hold it like this. This show was absolutely fantastic. I really loved it quite a bit. So, Joe, yeah, exactly what you said. If Vision Quest is half as good as this, then they're cooking again. But what made this show so unique was the style it was made in. Like an old... like all those old family sitcoms that each one of us probably grew up with in a different generation, and then it all culminating together, at the end to be what it was as a final product. It was really, really cool. And I don't think I've ever seen another show quite like that. And if we do, we know where they got their inspiration from. So, yeah, this is great. And since then, so much stuff has happened in this. Like, we got Vision here, who's the White Vision now. She's supposedly dead and turned into a villain. She was last seen with Captain Marvel and thrown into like an alternate X-Men universe. Agatha is a witch and is evil and had her own show. A lot has happened since this right here. So, we're not going to do that. Pretty awesome. So, absolutely. Exciting stuff. I really look forward to that show. And that being said, let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be we are going to be talking about the X-Men, and this is actually going to be the last topic that we talk about, which I think will be perfect. So, yes, the X-Men, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is finally acknowledging and bringing to all of us the X-Men. I believe it is May 5th, 2028. So, like a year and a half away, a little over, almost 2 years away at this point still. So, anything could happen by then. Things might not turn out the way we want them to before this movie comes out, but that is at least an acknowledgement and an official logo for the X-Men. Now, it does not say X-Men. It says X. That's interesting. I am going to say things now that might come across controversial. They might come across offensive. And if that is the case, I do not mean to be that way. But I call it as I see it, whether you agree with it or not. That is not my problem, but I do not mean to offend. It is hard to not acknowledge the elephant in the room with the X-Men specifically. Now, that being said, the X-Men are derived from a group of men and women of all different backgrounds, all different diversities, all different sexual orientations. This predates, okay, I'm saying this right now. This predates before there were agendas in wokeism, in all these butt crap political agendas thrown in our stuff that we grew up loving. That, yes, people can say, oh, the X-Men never dealt with politics. They absolutely did. There was the Mutant Registration Act. There are politics in everything, but we do not need to incorporate our real world. And people can say, but oh, what about, Captain America, World War II? You can split hairs all you want, but when you start putting things into an agenda of, well, we need to change this for the sake of that, or we need to make this, and that, you lose it. You lose the argument with me, and I stop paying attention because now it's lost focus of what it is. So where am I going with this? The X-Men. It's in the title, X-Men. Now, could this only be titled as X because they don't want to put the men in there because they want to split the difference and be happy with men and women or the transgenders community? Who the hell really knows? I think you just leave that shit alone and let it be X-Men, because X-Men does not come from you needing to be a man. The first fucking group of X-Men had Jean Grey in it, a woman, okay? The first group of X-Men had Jean Grey in it. And the X comes from, obviously, Xavier. I don't need to give you guys a history lesson. Y'all know. Y'all are smart people. But we don't need to have any of that woke shit in there. And I know there's already conversations that are happening about it. And I can lean one side further on the side of the fence than another. But if, let's say, for instance, there's a conversation going around right now. I have a picture. I don't have the picture, but I have a picture. Okay. The guy right there in the green, he's apparently like Italian and mixed. I don't know what his race is. I don't really give a shit. But he's going to be, I don't know any of these actors' names except for the blonde girl is Samira Weaving. And then the girl in the black leather jacket is the girl from Obsession. Okay. And we'll get into this in a minute. But the guy in the green is supposedly is casted as Charles Xavier. Man, when I look at that guy, I don't immediately look at him and be like, well, he's not white enough. I look at him and be like, he's got too much hair on his head. He's not bald enough. Obviously, that's something they can take care of. But hey, shave his head. It's hard for me to get Patrick Stewart out of my head because he is, Professor Xavier. We've all been conditioned a certain way. I'm going to give the guy a chance. I don't hate on it, but I can see where people are going to have an issue with it. Do I agree? Not really. That's just an example. The rest of it is fine with me. The casting is fine with me. I think everybody looks like, they already all look like who they're supposed to look like. The black girl at the end there, she is obviously going to be Storm. The girl right next to her, she is going to be playing Rogue. Samira Weaving is going to be, oh my God, Emma Frost. And look at how banging she looks. She already looked like Emma Frost. And like I said, this individual is going to be Charles Xavier. And then I don't have a good picture of his face, but that young man is going to be Cyclops. So totally fine with me. I have no problem with any of that stuff. So far, so good. But where I got to go a little deeper in this. Now, with the X-Men, they do have a very deep-rooted history in a political, grander scheme of things, which is the Holocaust. And if you don't know, let me just give you a quick Cliff Notes. Magneto, Eric Lancaster, I think that's his last name, right? Langster, whatever it is, was a Holocaust survivor and a mutant, and always remembered because he had the numbers or the barcode, whatever it was. Not barcode. Oh my God, he's not Hitman. But he had the serial number on his arm or wherever it was tattooed. And he always, remembered what the humans did to him. And that's his driving force, is the humans are these terrible people, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got the opposite of him, which is Charles Xavier, who is, I say good, but he does have some pretty sinister ideas and ideologies of his own, even though he thinks he's doing good. So he's a complex character for sure, which makes him very interesting and fun as well. So that is those guys' story. Now, they're bringing it modern. They're bringing it modern age. Are you now? This is only conversations I've heard. This is not my thoughts. Are you going to do Magneto as a African American, and he grew up in the '60s, you know, during the BLM, not the BLM, but the Martin Luther King movement, or is he going to be a modern guy for the BLM and during all of the race riots and stuff like that? Is it going to be a more contemporary version of Magneto where they completely just change everything, where you can still look at it and be like, well, it's still the same driving force, or is it? Because this is my thought. I don't believe, and I never read comic books or even watched the original X-Men movies thinking, wow, Magneto is just a political push to hate Nazis or whatever, right? Like, I never felt that way. I just felt like this is an accosted man who lost his entire family because of the horrible events of what was happening around the world. You understand what I'm saying there? This is an event that happened around the world. World War II. Something where everybody was involved. It wasn't a specific, I mean, on the Nazi side it was, but everybody kind of came together, essentially. Do your research, you know, cliff notes jumping around. Everybody came together to stop a common enemy, right? To me, if you make Magneto a black guy in the 21st century and he's just not down with, you know, he is down with the Black Lives Matter and he wants, I feel like you're really stretching, and now you're going to be pushing away a large audience of people, because that's not a world thing. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a world thing, and it didn't have a positive outcome. Because if I just asked the simple question of, where is the BLM now? Exactly. World War II still has lasting effects. It still has a resonating history. Magneto's character is long lasting because of the history of his character, not because of who he was written to be. Oh, we got to write him to be this, you know, poster piece. Stay away from that. I don't want that in my comic books. I don't want that in my movie that's about a comic book. If you want to make the Watchers, or not the Watchers, the Watchmen, and have that be, you know, like political assassination, you know, espionage shit, whatever, sure. But not in this. I don't want that modern stuff in it. And maybe I'm in, you know, my own boat out on my own island, but I desperately do not want that stuff in this movie. There's already been trickles of certain things like that, and I don't think it matters. And I'm going to say it just now. I don't think it matters if they bring Iceman into the movies and they just come out and say, well, he's gay. He has to be gay because he's gay. I don't think it, who gives a shit? If he has a romantic involvement, then that's a thing. Sure, I don't care. But I don't need it to be acknowledged, right? Waited on bated breath. But that's where I am with that. I think, though, all these characters, all these actors and actresses, they look, minus the hair on the one guy. I wish he would have come out in a bald cap. I think it would have just been visually cool looking. He looks way too much, though, right now, like the guy that's the new Falcon in the last Captain America movie. Nothing against him. That's just what I'm thinking as I see him. But everybody looks fantastic. I'm hoping we're going to get a Beast in this movie. You know, maybe we're going to get some of the original X-Men, but maybe not, obviously, if we're getting a Rogue already. It'll be interesting to see what they do with her. Are they going to have Captain Marvel in this, where Rogue gets her powers from her? Is Storm somebody that has already crossed paths in Wakanda and rubbed shoulders with some people there? Obviously, are we taking Emma Frost? Is she going to be part of the Hellfire Club? Oh my gosh, how cool would that be? Charles Xavier's backstory we're unfamiliar with yet. Scott Summers coming in as Cyclops. Are we going to get Havoc, his brother? Who knows? Very cool stuff. I'm really excited for this. But not only are there these individuals for the X-Men movie. What else do I have, actually? Do I have anything? Oh, you know what? I did have, and I forgot to talk about, maybe we'll squeeze it in at the end. We'll squeeze it in at the end. Yeah. We'll squeeze that in here in a few minutes. But this guy right here, if you know, you know. I'm going to read the comments real quick. Don't let Jennifer hear you. Ha 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 ha. X-Men 97 last episode was sad. Nightcrawler. Well, disclaimer comes before you say it, Rob. Humanity versus mutants, that's political. Yeah, exactly. Humanity versus mutants, it is political, but it's not an ideology of this. It has nothing to do with like your sexual orientation. It's everything to do with your DNA mutation. But I got what you mean. I am a mutant and I'm proud. That's going up on the fucking thing. That's great. I am a mutant and I am proud. That's great. That's freaking great. Oh, I skipped some stuff. So much Marvel and DC stuff has been coming out so quickly, one after another, that it's got me burned out. Yeah, it doesn't help that it's not consistently great or good. I'm sure CGI will help to make them look more like the characters they're portraying. Oh yeah, absolutely. But even right now, I think everybody looks really good. I mean, if you threw a white streak in Rogue's hair, she's gonna look just like, or that chick's hair, she's gonna look just like Rogue, and so on and so forth. But absolutely, I'm excited to see what they're all gonna look like. And like I said, they've already revealed some Lego sets where they have Mystique, and she's in like her all white outfit, and then they show Nightcrawler, where he's got, you know, like white hair essentially, or gray hair, and he's got a whole different outfit. Looks very, very cool. But what we've got here is our big bad of the film. At least that's what I'm interpreting him as. This is Nathaniel Mulberry, also known as Nathaniel Essex, better known as Mr. Sinister. Yes, Adam Driver, who was also Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars prequel, sequel, serial, put him in the aerial and throw him at a squirrel, Star Wars movies. We've got Adam Driver coming in to be Mr. Sinister. Now this, to me, is absolutely ballpark, or out of the ballpark casting. I like this guy as an actor. I think he's a really fun actor. He's got an extremely large presence to him, as he is a very big fella. And I think him as Mr. Sinister, covered up in all that makeup with the black hair and that little goatee and the mustache already. Oh my God. Put the little red diamond in his forehead, paint his face white, give him fangs. We've got a Mr. Sinister. Now, this is exciting because in the X-Men movies, up to this point, we've really only ever gotten Magneto as an actual big villain. Yes, we saw fucking Apocalypse, but come on, that really wasn't Abin Sur. It really wasn't the Apocalypse we all come to love. We've gotten, like I said, the Brotherhood with Magneto handfuls of times. There was, you know, in one of the Wolverine movies, we had Sabretooth as one of the main villains. We have had the Silver Samurai as a villain. The Demon Bear was in the New Mutants, so to speak. We've seen a ton, but we've never really ever seen one main villain like a Mr. Sinister. And this could be extremely, extremely, like, positive for the X-Men movie. If you're unsure about the casting of the characters, you know, I previously talked about, this right here to me is the one you want to sink your teeth into and put your chips on the table for this one, because this guy, again, is a really phenomenal actor, and I think he's going to do a really good job being super evil. Now, Nathaniel Mulberry, it's interesting that they gave him that name to begin with. There's a whole history of that, and him having a, what do you want to call it? Like an institution, a couple of different institutions. The Mulberry Institution, he's got an Essex Institution where he does all these crazy tests on orphaned kids, on teen mutants, all different mutants and everything like that. And his biggest thing he wants to do is test Jean Grey and Scott Summers, at least from the old X-Men cartoon, The Savage Lands, which really, really good stuff. It's season 3, episodes 1 and 2 of season 3. You're going to get some really good stuff with the Savage Lands episodes. You get good stuff with Charles Xavier. You get really good stuff with all the X-Men. You get to see Mr. Sinister and his evil ways and in all the fun glory that we could possibly get to see in this future X-Men movie. Now, for people that want little fun Easter eggs, if you go back and you watch, I think it's Deadpool 2 and a couple of one of the Wolverine movies, I think it's Logan, and maybe there's one more, they make reference to the Essex corporations or institutions. So there's these little Easter eggs that were kind of there building up to a possible Mr. Sinister, but it never came to. This will be a completely different entity than that, but very cool nonetheless. I'm excited for this. And it's about time they brought in a new character, a comic booky character. Not just, nothing against Magneto, but not just a guy that's, upset at the human race, but a mutant that wants to do real evil damage, but doesn't really get his hands dirty a lot. So you see a lot of really interesting mutants acting underneath him and such. So I'm very excited for not even the possibility, it's going to happen. I'm very excited for what the future has in store for this X-Men movie alongside the cast and the characters that they've already revealed at this point. But I do want to mention, because I did talk about what our possible future could be going in or coming out of Doomsday with the X-Men that we've already been shown, and that is the sad reality of this is a new cast. This is not Channing Tatum's Gambit. This is not James Marsden's Cyclops. This is not Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler. This is not Rebecca Romijn's Mystique. Patrick Stewart's Xavier. Ian McKellen's Magneto. This is none of them. Now, yes, they are all in Doomsday. Hold on. There we go. They are all in Doomsday, of course, absolutely. But I think that name is not just a name to introduce Doctor Doom. This is a name or a title to introduce to you what is happening. Doomsday has come, and our favorite heroes from our favorite movies are going to be wiped away for the final time. If any of you are wrestling fans and you're familiar with ECW One Night Stand 2005, you'll understand what I mean when I say the true definitive ending to something beautiful. And that is what Doomsday is going to be for so many of me and you type people out there that are going to go watch this movie for the nostalgia, for the fun, for the superhero aspect of it. But when we start to see the X-Mansion, when we start to hear the when we start to see Cyclops, Jean Grey possibly, Femke Jensen, when we see all these returning heroes fighting these Sentinels or whatever's coming for them, it's going to be the bittersweet. It's going to be a moment you're going to relive and you're going to rewatch from that movie. But it's just going to be super disappointing when it's said and done and over with, because the hopes of seeing them return now that the fire is burning, it's going to come to an end. But it's going to be glorious. It will be glorious. Oh, yes, it will be. And it's going to be very exciting. But this is definitely a thing to come, showing this new cast of characters, not talking about the older X-Men. It's for sure. We can definitely say that our old Fox X-Men are going to be leaving us. But that doesn't mean we have to say goodbye to them quite yet. No, no, no. Why is that? Well, because one more individual made his appearance at this D23. Now, these individuals came out on stage in the red dress. It's hard to see. But in the red dress, you've got Haley Atwell, which is Agent Carter or Captain Carter. And then you've got Robert Downey Jr., which is going to be Dr. Doom, along with Chris Evans, who is returning supposedly as Captain America. But we will see. I think all three of these people are villains. Obviously, we know Dr. Doom is a villain, but I think Haley Atwell's Captain Carter is going to be a villain, and so is Captain America. I think this is going to be Lady Hydra and Captain Hydra. You heard it first right here. Captain Hydra, or not Lady Hydra, Madam Hydra. That is totally what I believe. Captain and Madam Hydra right there with Dr. Doom. Because why would you have these three? Interesting. Anyways, these three individuals came out, showed the Avengers Doomsday trailer one more time for the crowd. It's the same one that's available up on YouTube for all of us that we've already watched a bunch of times. But another individual made his appearance on the big screen. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. First of all, we know who that is. Second of all, I don't know if I'm reading into this, but look at that background. Does that background, folks, not look like a specific fireplace, maybe, of a specific mansion? I don't know. Now, there was a video to coincide with this where you hear Hugh Jackman talking, but he's not just talking to us or, Kevin Feige, who's out on the stage. He's talking to Ryan Reynolds, or AKA Deadpool. Now, I don't know if it's an ADR or if Ryan is actually sitting there on the screen with him, but they never actually show him. He's just talking to him off screen. And it's all about how Ryan is busting Hugh Jackman's balls for not being involved in Doomsday, saying that Spider-Man and Deadpool are involved in Doomsday, but Hugh Jackman isn't. So Hugh Jackman is entertaining this and having a conversation, and then literally asks Kevin Feige, "Hey, would you like to have me in Doomsday?" Pretty much, and you know how the crowd goes. Woo! Absolutely wild, child. They go absolutely insane in the membrane. So. Who we got in the chat? That I'm saying I do. There we go. What's up, Kaz? Driving Bud listening. Hey, that's all right, man. That's okay. I appreciate you popping in and just jumping in the comments. But make sure, everybody, that you are listening and watching. Please, if you don't mind, liking this video and sharing this video to get it out there. Because, come on now. This is just fun conversation, and this is what we want to do. We want to get it out there and engage and stuff like that. So anyway, Hugh Jackman apparently is now officially involved in Avengers Doomsday. How about that? This movie has got about 3,000 people in it, and that's basically what Hugh Jackman was saying. He's like, it's got like 30 people in it already, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's going to be tons of people, but like I've said when we talked about the MCU during San Diego Comic-Con weekend, those characters, a lot of those original Fox characters are going to be, in my opinion, in the opening scene of this movie, where we see the X-Mansion and we see all these, from what the toys have leaked, Sentinels coming and destroying the X-Mansion, and the X-Men just putting up one last fight, but just getting decimated. And not only are the X-Men there, but of course we see the Avengers in the trailer with them, or the new Avengers, if you will, which is going to be Elena. Obviously, Shang-Chi is going to be part of the new Avengers, which is cool. There's going to be Bucky, Falcon, Ant-Man, and I would not be surprised if we saw some other surprising characters within that in that moment. Hopefully I'm wrong, but there are certain ones that I think are going to bite the bullet, and I personally don't want to see it because then it's definitive. But then again, I'm also the person that loves watching movies that have great stories, beautiful characters, and when the ending just doesn't hit, it sours everything. And I'm looking at you, Resident Evil, from the early 2000s and mid 2000s. If you call yourself the final chapter, and you're playing the game of saying that your main character is going to die by the end of the movie, you're telling me all bets are off. This is it. And then the fucking hero lives at the end of the movie while it's still called the final chapter? No. Your hero has to die. James Bond, you did it with Daniel Craig with No Time to Die. Spoiler alert. James Bond dies at the end of that movie, and it was fucking awesome. It was awesome. I was in the movie theater with a handful of people, bunch of people, really, really old people, my age people. People were tearing up. I had a tear in my eye. I was like, oh my God. Beautiful ending. Beautiful ending. Definitive. If we get that with Doomsday, and there's certain characters that are like, shit, I was really hoping they would have come back again, this is it. This is going to be it. So, if you're going to be like me, bring some tissues with you when you go see the movie, because I do get choked up and a little teary-eyed, and I've been known to shed a tear once or twice in these movies. So that is it, man. That is it. Those are all my thoughts. That's all the conversation I have about D23, the MCU 2026. And hey, look at that. Your old boy Ace did pretty damn good, making it almost an hour by himself, going that 56, pushing about 57 and a half minutes by the time I wrap it up. But did pretty damn good for just a handful of topics alone like that. This might be the new thing for the Ace, or for the Smokin' Aces show. I genuinely think this is what I'm going to do from now on. The Smokin' Ace show is going to be a solo Ace presented show, an hour-long thing where I talk about what's hot, what's new, and then we're done with it by the end with it. And then Fridays, we're going to wrap it all up with the anarchy that is the Ace in the Hole variety show, where all the inmates flood to the asylum and they take it over for one night of the week. So I think that's a really good balance right there. And if I want to have people on this specific show, I'm going to personally invite them outside of YouTube and send them the link through an email or through a text message. And there will be no open link on this type of stream for this show specifically. Unless, and I will make an exception, unless it's somebody that does not have the information and they're in the stream at the moment and it's like, okay, yes, pop in. Other than that, I think it's going to be a solo or a special guest coming alongside aside myself to do all of this. So on that note, I appreciate everybody that's watched. We've got Kaz, we got Joe Prime, and we got Quentin. I thank all three of you very, very much. Was there someone else? I feel like I'm forgetting someone else. Rob. Oh my God. Sorry, Rob. Thank you guys very much for checking this out. I appreciate it, and it's a great thing. It's a fun thing to do. Quentin, what do you got saying, brother? Squirrel Girl, is it going to be a movie or a series? Any info? I heard a while back that Squirrel Girl was going to be a show, to be honest with you, but I don't have any other information other than that, except for it's going to be nuts. Do you get it? You get it? Squirrel Girl, it's going to be nuts? All right, we're out of here with that one. But folks, let me see if I have the image. Hold on. No, give me a second. I'm uploading something real quick that I'm going to throw on the screen. Alrighty then. So, not only are you guys getting Ace live today, but this Wednesday, yes, this Wednesday, there's going to be another Ace live, and it is this. Absolutely. we've got the LWL World Title Match live. It says today, but it's going to be, was a thumbnail I was making for Wednesday, but it's going to be live on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Yes, what you're looking at is fact. This is me. I am Ace, the Ace Hole, the world champion of the LWL, which is the Living Room Wrestling League. That's the LWL. I am the world champion. Making her return to the squared circle this Wednesday for the first time in a week and a half is the former world champion, the Beach Babe Gemma. Will she be able to topple down the king and regain her championship, or will she be knocked off the shelf and pushed back into obscurity once again? You guys are not going to want to miss this live. Yes, I am going to be presenting a wrestling match live here inside of our apartment where my child and myself will be wrestling to see who is truly the greatest of them all. So please, you guys, tune in for that. Do not miss it. It's going to be this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, Aces Place 22. And then you're also going to want to check out this Friday is the Ace in the Hole Variety Show. And here you go right here. The Ace in the Hole Variety Show. Shut your mouth. Here comes the pain. You can't see it because the comments are in the way. Hold on. This episode will lay the smackdown on your candy. Don't say it. Don't say it. So this was the thumbnail that we got going on where I'm still wrestling, getting ready to wrestle. But there's a sneak peek at what we're going to be doing Friday. We're going to be talking about wrestling, the WWE, WWF, all that fake wrestling crap. That's what we're going to be talking about Friday. So if you like wrestling, or if you're just curious of what the hell we're going to, chit-chat about, make sure you tune in Friday, because we are going to talk about pro wrestling, brothers. Quentin, cheers. I hope you have a great day, dude. WrestleFest 2026. Hey, WrestleFest is actually a show I used to go to back for Northeast Wrestling. So there you go, if you guys want to check those out. And then also, I do not have a thumbnail for it, but it will be this Thursday. Joe Prime 1986 and myself will be taking you guys right down the prime hole with a brand new dual effort collaboration of Joe Prime 1986 channel and Aces Place 22's channel. And we're going to be coming together and making a brand new show on Thursdays for you guys that are presented by us. And we hope you enjoy it. So tune in this Thursday. I think it's going to be 6 o'clock Eastern time for me, or it's going to be 7 o'clock. I'm not sure. I'll have it posted. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open as well. And you guys will be good. You'll be good for that. Other than that, I've pimped out myself quite a bit. I, again, appreciate every single one of you guys for watching this. Tune in Wednesday, tune in Thursday, and tune in Friday for lives all week long minus Tuesday. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow. Maybe we'll do another damn Turtle Tuesday live tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow for We will see you guys tomorrow for Turtle Tuesday Live. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, love, peace, and pizza grease.
There is dust upon the trail, the sun is burning bright. The town awakens as the day gives way to night. Where tumbleweeds are rolling, ancient tales still grow, and everyone is talking about the Smokin' Ace Show. He rides upon that pale horse through the frontier road, with aces in his deck and a story to be told. From toy reviews to legends that we all have known, so gather around the campfire for the Smokin' Ace Show.
Ace's army is everywhere.
The whole town feels a thrill, you know. He has finally come
Hello,
back
sir.
home. Welcome to the Smokin' Ace Show, where the good times always roll.
It's smoking on the Smokin' Ace Show.
Reviews and done by